this one okay? Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. Andy, I'm going to wait for a signal from you. Are you good?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate you joining us, and thank you so much in advance for your patience. Greg can speak in English, todo en inglés, and then Christian here can speak in both English and Spanish. So I think we'll start with questions in the room first, and then we'll move over to our Zoom. Any questions here in the room? Go ahead.
Gracias, buenas tardes para ambos. Gilberto Balán para Once Diario. Pregunta para Cristian, dentro de esa experiencia que vivieron allá en Los Ángeles contra Tigres, un equipo de los poderosos de México, ¿qué postura crees que va a adoptar el rival para esta vuelta? Y por supuesto ustedes contando con el criterio del gol de visita, ¿qué es lo que vienen a buscar el Universitario? Gracias.
Sí, no, sabemos el gran rival que es Tigres y lo que presentan, especialmente aquí en casa, sobre los últimos 10-12 años, lo que han hecho, y sabemos que importante es el gol de visita, y sabemos que tenemos eso como un objetivo para mañana, y estamos listos de tener momentos de controlar el partido en la forma que nosotros pensamos de controlar, y también sabemos que hay momentos aquí en el volcán que se tienen que sufrir y salir adelante de eso.
Next in the room. Aquí.
Hola, Vladimir García de TUDN. Tigres tiene una semana importante, una eliminación con ustedes aquí en su casa y el fin de semana el derbi contra el equipo rival Rayados. Ustedes buscarán seguramente hacer su juego, pero buscarán también jugar con el tema psicológico, de presión, de hacer que el volcán juegue en contra del equipo al pasar de los minutos y tratar de ser el aguafiestas del equipo local. Gracias.
Most of it, but go ahead.
No, sabemos que el plantel que tienen es para competir con todas las competiciones que juegan. Nosotros enfocados en nosotros y el resto se toma forma. Sabemos la afición puede ser una ventaja para ellos en la forma que ellos sacan energía de ellos. Entonces nosotros con todo el respeto estamos aquí para jugar nuestro juego y controlar lo que podemos controlar.
Otras aquí, sí.
Hola para coach y para el jugador también. El Universitario, como lo decían mi compañero pesa. Justamente tuve la oportunidad de preguntarle a Pat Noonan de Cincinnati el último partido de vuelta que vivió aquí. El Universitario pesó. Ustedes saben, digo, el coach Greg ya tuvo la oportunidad también de visitar el estadio Universitario. ¿Qué espera en la atmósfera del estadio Universitario para el siguiente partido?
The atmosphere at the stadium. Yeah. I think last time I was here was 2018, so it's been a few years, but for us then it was incredible atmosphere. The crowd super involved, the noise was amazing. I think for our guys, it was at that time we were a really experienced team in Toronto that with guys who had played in a lot of bigger stadiums, whether they were from Europe or from others internationally, things like that. I think our group is maybe a little younger this time around than the experience of that team. But I think the group is excited to play in a venue like this, a stadium like this, with an atmosphere that's going to be different than what we experience week in and week out, in MLS. So I think we look forward to it. I think it's an opportunity for our group to gain experience that can only help us in the grand scheme of things, to learn how to manage the environment and also manage a very good team on the other side and be able to find solutions in the game.
We're going to transition it to our Zoom now. We'll take our first call from Damien.
Hey, Greg, Christian, can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear you, David.
Just want to first of all get your thoughts on what did you guys learn from the first meeting against Tigres that you think can help you in the second leg?
Again, a very good team with and without the ball. Good players all over. I think we knew that coming into it, but to actually play against them is to actually feel the qualities of each of the players and the ideas, I think, of their collective group. So, very good players. Sometimes I think you play these games and you play against opponents from Mexico. They don't necessarily always use their pivots and play through the lines, but I think Tigres in history has been a team that has very much been using the ball, uses the ball well, and have very good attacking players, and is very organized on the defensive side. So we know that we have to be able to be mistake free coming down here, which is a big ask, and we know we need to be able to use the ball well, have our fair share of possession, and find ways to try to make the game complicated for them. But it's a very good team that we're going to have to keep neutralized for a lot of the game and figure out the right ways to try to break them down and score goals. But we recognize the qualities of their group, and they're well coached and well organized.
Thank you, Damien. Our next question will go to Josh. Josh Guessman.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time. Greg, I think I saw that Gabe and Lucas Sanabria traveled with you guys and wanted to know their status for the match tomorrow night. And if you could also talk maybe about managing the minutes between this RSL game. And I know Christian didn't get to play in RSL. Or are you expecting him to be a focal point for tomorrow night?
Yeah, everyone traveled with us. Mauricio's here as well. So everybody, for the most part, traveled. We'll have 23 that are available for tomorrow. Lucas and Gabe will be available for tomorrow. Mauricio will not. He will train with the group today, but he won't be available for tomorrow. So everybody else is involved. That was involved on the weekend. Marco isn't with us. Aside from that, most of the rest are. Maya's not with us. With this week where we have 4 matches inside of a 2-week period, obviously two really big matches in Champions League with, opportunities to try to advance. The RSL game was the one away game, I guess you could say, inside of a really busy time period. We finished the week at home against Houston, so that has to be a priority as well. So with our group already having, the amount of injuries that we've suffered during the first part of the season, it came down to trying to prioritize some things and not put guys out there and put them at risk while trying to position ourselves to get results in these games. We're just trying to be mindful of that. We have, Mickey and John were coming back from injury, so we didn't feel like it would be responsible for us to try to push them through 4 games either. So, we made some rotations over the course of this week and we had to make some choices. But the guys that didn't play and guys that did play from the last match, everybody is available and ready to go tomorrow.
Thank you, Josh. We'll go ahead and move on to Scott French. Scott, if you can come off mute and ask your question.
Hey guys, this is for Greg. The Tigres that we saw in Carson last week and the Tigres we'll see tomorrow, in which ways do you think they'll be different?
I think these teams at home are always they're going to be more aggressive in the ways that they feel they can be in terms of being responsible. I think they'll be more aggressive, whether that's defensively stepping more numbers to press the ball. Again, more aggressive probably in their actions to try to finish and runners. And, they're at home and teams are obviously more comfortable at home usually than they are on the road. And for them, it's an opportunity also to try to win this series by, taking the game. But they're going to make the choices that they make based on how the game is playing itself out, so everybody has a vision of what they want tomorrow to look like, and the decisions inside of the game will be made based on how the rhythm of the game, plays out. And so, but I think, ultimately, I would assume they would probably like to be at home and be a touch more aggressive and proactive in their approach to the game. So, we've got to find ways to try to nullify that and show them that we can hurt them if they get over ambitious and see if we can do that. We have the away goal opportunity tomorrow, which is positive things for us because we didn't give up the goal at our place. So there's various factors that go into this game, and I don't pretend to know what they're going to do. I just we've got to be ready for whatever they decide to try to throw at us and try to find the solutions inside of that.
Thank you, Scott. We'll take our next question from Alex Ruiz.
Hey, Greg. Thank you for your time. Just wanted to ask you quickly, from a coach's perspective, obviously things aren't going so well in the league. Is it maybe easier to switch off having two competitions? And for Christian, last year, with Columbus, you missed this matchup. Heading here to El Volcan with an injury, how much are you looking forward to playing in this stadium after missing it last year? Thank you.
I'll start. We're focused on the game tomorrow. That's where our energy is. That's where our mindset's at. Everybody is locked in on that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Growing up in Southern California, I watched Liga MX as the league that I watched besides MLS, and this is a historic venue, and it's exciting to be able to play in an atmosphere like this one.
Thank you, Alex. Rob, we'll move to you. Rob Palone.
This one's for Greg. Greg, thanks so much for talking to us. Just going into the match, by altitude and by the fact that they're at home with their crowd, Tigres would seem to have an advantage. Does that give you kind of the license, the freedom to just kind of have a go at it and kind of try to upset them? Kind of use their strengths against them to see if you can build some pressure? Thank you.
I think, the good thing is the altitude here isn't higher than it is in Salt Lake. So that's a good thing. Having just played in Salt Lake, we've obviously dealt with the altitude recently. And so I think the guys will understand what that's about. I think ultimately the game is, for both teams, it's about getting the result tomorrow that gets you through to the next round. Both of us have a vision of how we want this game to play out that we think is going to give us the best chance to be successful. And then once the game gets going, we've got to recognize what the game is giving us and what we need to take away from them. And we have to make those decisions over the course of 90 minutes. It's not a game where we're going after it right at the beginning. We're going to have to, again, be mindful of choosing our moments, but also finding our ways to impose ourselves on the game. We're not down here to let them just run at us all the time, and we're down here to try to, again, find our ways to implement what we want to do in our style and our ideas on the game. So I love these games, as I've said before many a times, because they're a great team. They have wonderful players on the other side. They're organized and well coached, and it's going to require the full complement of resources from each of our players to be able to execute and play and to find the solutions inside of the game. So these types of games make you better. You learn from them and you grow from them, and you hope that you can do the things you need to do to win.
Thank you, Rob. Alex, you still have your hand raised. Do you have another question, or is that an old hand? No. Okay. I think we've hit all the questions on the Zoom. No other questions in the room. Thank you all so much. One more question over here. We'll take it.
Okay, thank you. Jair Leiva from Minuto Final. Mr. How does LA Galaxy faces this game after having settled a negative record in MLS history about being the current champion with the longest winless streak? Does this affect the way you face this game, considering the next weekend game versus Houston Dynamo?
No, it doesn't change our point of view. I think, look, each of our results are a reflection of those games individually, mistakes that were made, things that we didn't accomplish. But I think each game is its own game, and you have to reflect upon it and learn from it and go. But we set up our team now to play against against Tigres in Monterrey, against having played against them last week, which is a little bit of information that we might be able to use tomorrow night, understanding that the context and the place will be a little bit different. But the group is focused. We're getting a little healthier. I mean, part of our challenge is just that we've not been able to stay healthy at the beginning of the season and have a lot of transition going through our team and our roster. But the guys are locked in. You can ask Christian here. Guys are locked in. They see that tomorrow is a huge opportunity to come out and try to make a difference in a season that hasn't started so well. And you win tomorrow, and it's a good statement for our group and where we're at and where we're headed. So we're gonna give it a good run.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we appreciate your time. Thank you all so much for joining our press conference. And we'll see you tomorrow post game. Thank you.